didn't get a deer on the opening day of archery season. I was planning on using some of the meat from that to do a video on making summer sausage. So I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get a deer, but then it occurred to me that I've still got a fair amount of ground venison in the freezer. So what we're going to be doing today is breaking some of that out and making some summer sausage. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the equipment we're going to be using today and materials. First is my Victorinox boning knife. Next we've got sausage stuffing tools that are made to fit my grinder. The casings that came with a kit. We're doing a summer sausage kit today. I didn't want to take the time to mix up my own seasoning mix, buy the casings, etc., etc. So I'm going with a kit today. I may do another video at another time showing you how to mix up the spice mix. So we've got natural casings, fibrous casings. We've got the Backwoods cured sausage seasonings summer mix from LEM custom blended Backwoods. We've got a pound of pork loin. We've got the Chef's Choice grinder, which is made to fit my Kitchenaid mixer. I've got the medium grinding plate on it today. We've got, of course, the Kitchenaid mixer. And then we've got 4 pounds of venison. For those of you that just recently watched my opening day 2014 PA archery video, you'll know that so far this year, which so far consists of 1 day, but we haven't scored with this year's deer season, but I do have some grind meat that's from last year's season, and we're not quite at a year. We're about 9 months now since that game was harvested. It's certainly still good. It would still certainly work fine, but A, we need to free up some space in the freezer, assuming we're going to get some game this year, and B, it's coming close to the end of its useful life, being in the freezer for a year. So we're going to go ahead and use it for this. So that's the equipment we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and move into the process. Okay, so venison is a very, very lean meat. I did have 20% pork mixed with my venison when I had it processed last year, but we really do want to get the fat content up a little bit on this summer sausage. So what we're going to do is take this pound of pork loin. We're going to make sure we get all the bones out of it. I believe it is boneless. We're going to grind that up before we mix it with the venison, and then mix it with the seasoning and cure mix. So before we start grinding it, we do have to cut it up. This grinder is not made to grind up huge chunks of meat. Actually, before I get in trouble with Mrs. SSP, I'm going to pull out the cutting board and use that before I scratch up her countertops. So we're just cubing it up a little bit, cutting it into smaller pieces so the grinder can handle it. Fat and all, remember we want to keep the fat content high, fairly high. The grinder we're using is a Chef's Choice grinder made to fit the Kitchenaid, as I said. This is the first time I've used it. I am by no means endorsing this yet. We're going to be using it today for the first time, and even if it works great today, I'm still not prepared to endorse it because we haven't seen how durable it's going to be. I see a lot of reviews on Amazon saying, I bought this and this is the first time I've used it and it's great. Well, that's all well and good. I'm glad it's working well. But that doesn't mean it's going to hold up. So I'm going to withhold any kind of endorsement for until at least the end of this year's hunting season. So let's go ahead and grind this up and see how it works. That wasn't encouraging. As soon as we turned it on, I think I probably just didn't have that down on there. So there we have it, a pound of ground pork loin. We'll now drain the blood off of the venison and mix it in. I won't show you that Next step for 5 pounds of meat is to mix up a whole packet of your seasoning with 5 ounces of water. So I've got 5 ounces of filtered water here. We're going to mix that up. I'll save you the time. You don't need to worry about that. I don't think you need instructions on how to mix up water and seasoning. Okay, so here we've mixed up the seasoning mix and the cure. In this case, the cure came with the kit. In most cases, we'd be using some kind of product like a Morton Quick Cure, something like that. But for this case, we're going to use this. We've got the meat ground, the pork and the venison mixed. Just to make it convenient, we put it in 2 containers so we can split it up. And we're going to put roughly half of this cure and seasoning mix into 1 container, and then the rest of it into another. And we'll blend this all together before we're done to make sure we get it all mixed properly. Put all of that in there. And now we'll mix it all up. Again, you don't need to see me squishing this around for 10 minutes. Okay, so we've got the meat mixed up. We've been soaking the fibrous casings in warm water. I'm not sure if you can see that. So now I believe everything is ready and we're ready to stuff the sausage. We'll see how this goes. First, we're going to take a casing, work it all the way up on the tube until you bottom out. Grinder on, and we're off to the races. This one is pretty close to done. I'm going to pull it off of here. We're going to twist the ends. And there's our first tube. There's our first, I don't know, what would you call it? Log of summer sausage. We'll wash it off, get all the stuff off the outside, cut the string, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then we will bake it in the oven until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Okay, so what we've got here is 5, roughly speaking, 1 pound logs, I gotta find a better name for this, of summer sausage. They've got the cure mixed in, they're stuffed, got to put them in the refrigerator overnight, and then tomorrow, I'll probably give them 24 hours in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow they'll be ready to go in the oven. So we'll pick back up then. Okay, so we're here the next day. Our summer sausages have set up quite a bit. They're ready to be put in the oven. It's preheated to 180 degrees. I'm going to put it on this jerky rack here. Probably will leave some grooves, some grid patterns impressed onto the bottom of it. I don't care so long as it tastes like summer sausage. And we will see, and we need to leave it in here until the meat reaches an internal temperature of, try to figure out a way to leave some space between here, of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So into the oven these will go, and we'll come back when they're done. Well, our summer sausage is done. It took about 3 hours for it to get up to 165 degrees internally. Obviously used a digital meat thermometer to check the temperature. I skipped, in the interest of time, I skipped the putting the hog rings on the end, replacing the string with hog rings, and vacuum sealing it. But this is the way they came out. They're pretty firm. I think they'll firm up a little bit more as they cure. So now I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for a few days, let the cure kind of do its thing, and then we'll have a little less than 5 pounds of summer sausage. So as you can see, we're done. The summer sausage has been curing for about a week, and it came out very, very well. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos on living the self-sufficient lifestyle. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And remember, you can always check out the blog, which has a lot more content on things like this, at selfsufficientpath.com. Thanks.